Right before she died of a drug overdose, I had no idea she was taking drugs.
It gets you addicted. I mean, I started out like any drug, just doing it once a week. Then it became twice a week. Then it became almost every night, smoking a little bit. Then it became waking up with it, doing it all day long.
I didn't get to see my daughter, but her dad did.
He was a heroin addict. He, you know, had struggled with heroin for a long time, but he had been clean for a year.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, God, why? Why did you drive?
I looked to the left and I saw like this white truck, and I couldn't say no. I said, I go, oh Jesus, like that, and it hit us.
You will be convicted of a felony if you're caught selling this stuff.
And what you don't really realize that you're putting your life in danger and everybody else around you in danger, and it's just not worth it.
It was 8 minutes from the time the officer left, and that my daughter was killed.
Broke my back at T12, severed my spinal cord, had a punctured lung, a torn diaphragm, and several broken ribs, and that's what left me paralyzed at the waist, and we got a speeding ticket. That's it.
Done, Glenn? What does that mean, Margaret? Done because the video's over? Is that it? I like using the video because it gives the chat a couple of minutes to fill up before I come on and I'm just talking to nobody. So here we are. So folks, what did you think about those two recovery stories? I hear from so many people that are in recovery that I felt like doing something like this. We had these two great stories. These two guys came in to share their story together, you know, at the same time. And it was way cool to watch their dynamic, to see the way that they interacted with each other. I found it way cool. I always shot those in Albuquerque. And Albuquerque was an interesting shoot because we got to use a genuine studio to do the recording. The county provided us access to their studio, and it was really, really nice to have that kind of an environment to do the stuff. So Ricardo says Joe's going to join us in just a second. Okay. Imagine the suspense. So Ricardo, while you're here, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was like to share your story in the way that we record these stories? Something that's kind of confusing to me. I have an interface that makes it possible to do stuff like this lower third thing over here with my name on it. But there is a delay between that display and the display that I have from YouTube. Yes, yes, it does. It takes a lot of courage. We make it very simple, but it's still going to be a tough story to share. Right. However, the storytellers cannot see the camera. They see a reflection of me. It works sort of the same way a teleprompter works. Dawn says, I'm a mother of an addict. These stories give me hope. Thank you for being strong and telling your stories. For sure. Ricardo says it was an honor. I felt like I was giving back to the community and also giving all glory to God. What a good answer, Ricardo. I would imagine Glenn is very supportive. Well, I try. I feel very fortunate, very blessed to get to do this kind of work, to get to meet all of these people and to help them do something that pulls some kind of value out of this life experience they've been through. So it's a great thing to me. So I see we have, how many do we have right now? We have 21 people here, and we have 8 likes. So, a couple of you people could hit the thumbs up thing. It helps how our channel performs, and it helps get our messages to an increasingly larger audience. So the thumbs up affects how the YouTube algorithm sees things. How is my shoulder? Well, it's better today. But and that's kind of painful. So I'm pretty sure what happened is yesterday during the live, I spent too much time with just all my weight on that elbow and just kind of twisted funny or something. So I'm making a conscious effort not to do that. Of course, the shoulder reminds me not to do that because it hurts when I start to do that. So it'll be good. Where is Brenda? Brenda, are you here? Did you make it? You're here, right? So while we have these people here, hello, Brenda. Rico, God used Glenn to get through my fentanyl-soaked brain that I must quit. This was September 4th, 2024, just over 8 months ago. I appreciate that, Brenda, very much. That means a lot to me to read that. I don't remember what I was going to say. Ricardo, how many days did your detox last? That's a good question. How do you and then sorry, got stuff going on here. So sometimes I've been told that sometimes you don't really know when your detox is over and when you just don't feel good because you're exhausted. But let's see what Ricardo has to say. Whatever his name was, gaming something. You guys are all such gold. You really are. That the way that the group that comes together in these live chats, the way that everyone supports each other, it is really a powerful thing that helps far more people than the ones who comment in the chat. Anyone who's watching this live event on a TV, for example, and YouTube says about 45% of our audience watches our content on smart TVs. There's no commenting on a smart TV, and so some of the people watching probably don't even have a way to comment. However, if this applies to you, you can look at it on your phone at the same time, and you can comment on your phone while you're still watching your big screen TV. Or not. You know, you can just watch, and we're very glad for you to be here. Deidre, love to each and every one of you. Of course, much love, girlfriend. I will pray for you. I'm on my phone. Okay. And you're participating in the chat. So yeah, phone's an easy way to do that. I'm on a computer, and occasionally my phone gets involved at the same time because I'm crazy like that. And so what else can I tell you folks about Texas Pictures or about recovery stuff? I am no expert on recovery. What I know about recovery, for the most part, is what I have learned from the people I talk to. I have some good friends that are also working in environments that involve recovery. So I learn more there, but I have no training, and I wouldn't want anyone to think I do. I just have support, and I have what I have learned from firsthand information from people who have been through it. And over the last couple of years, I've learned a lot. And I'm grateful for it. It's wonderful. When I was in high school, a girlfriend I had at the time, her father was an alcoholic, and we went to Al-Anon meetings way back then. And I learned a lot in those meetings. And since then, when I've been to other kinds of meetings to learn, or at the invitation of someone who's shared a story with us or something like that, a lot of what I learned at those Al-Anon meetings just came back to me. That was interesting. Okay, so technically about 3 weeks, says Ricardo. Patricia Strange. I'm happy to find you live. I've been binge watching these testimonies, and I'm heartbroken for them. There are some really heartbreaking testimonies in the fentanyl series. The testimonies in the recovery series, they're all victories. And so we try to have a kind of a balance there to where these recovery stories are sort of bring you back to good news. It's gold to me to have the recovery stories. In the fentanyl series, we hear from a lot of people that are in recovery, or a lot of people who just wish they were in recovery. And being able to direct them to the recovery series and show them that there is hope. There is people out there who are getting beyond their addiction. They are on the road to recovery. They are on the long-term road. So it's just, it means a lot to me to have that series to point people to. So, Patricia, there is the recovery stories. Those are victory stories. There's also a small series of human trafficking stories, which grows much slower than the fentanyl stories do. And the human trafficking stories are all, wow. The human the human trafficking stories are all stories of victory as well. And there's also a series called American Peace Officer. And American Peace Officer is a special kind of series that asks an individual law enforcement officer to share one experience in their career that has really stuck with them over the years. And so there's some pretty powerful stories in there as well. So, hello, Joe. Thank you for joining us. Glad you're here. Glad you were able to come to the channel and do this. Because, you know, I know how challenging it can be for you older guys. So, Ricardo, mine lasted 14 to 16 days and it was ugly, but now when I think of relapsing, I just remember I never want to detox again. There you go. That's gold right there. It is so cool having both Joe and Ricardo here in the chat, and they're just talking to each other. That's good for you guys. Brenda says, Joe, hi. Thanks for having the strength and courage to share your story. I'm clean from fentanyl for 8 months, which I too did at home with God. I love AA, but it's not for me. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that from people, and yeah, everyone finds their own level. I've even heard among people who are very much champions of AA, who believe in it very much, even they also say that you got to find the right kind of meeting, that there's meetings going on all over the place all the time, but some of them are a good fit and some of them are not. Joe says, thank you, I'm in the hospital, but wouldn't miss this for the world. And so how is the hospital thing going, Joe? How you doing? Yeah, I just get nosy. It's like part of my field. So I'll just ask whatever kind of question. Of course, you already know that, right? So, Deidre, that is a wonderfully profound thing that you just said there. The reward of sobriety is amazing once you get over the hump. That's gold right there. That could be on a plaque hanging on the wall in a meeting room. Retaining water from congestive heart failure. Well, you have a lot of love in this room, Joe, and grateful for you being here, and you have a lot of supporters here now. You know, Joe, we also have, I don't know if I mentioned to you, we have a private Facebook group that is for storytellers and for those who wish to share their story at some point. And if you're on Facebook, you should certainly join. You too, Ricardo, if you're not part of the group but you're on Facebook, you should be in the group. There's a lot of cool support. A lot of the chatters that are in this room are part of the group. Brenda, yes, ma'am. I don't know. Okay. Deidre praying for us all here. And we all appreciate that. So it is a little bit different environment, isn't it? I don't know if you guys, I will link into it. Thanks. You need to join the Facebook group. You need to friend me on Facebook and then send me a message in Facebook Messenger asking me to send you an invite. The group isn't listed. It's a private group, so you can't find it by searching for it. The only way to find it is to be invited. And it has, I don't know, there's over 500 members now. Just about anyone in any of the stories on our channel, just about all of them, close to all of them, are part of the group. And you can probably, if there's one that you'd like to reach out to, you can probably find whoever it is in the group. Deidre, clearly you have a lot of love in your heart. I think a lot of people in the chat feel that way. So what I was going to say, this is a little bit different because the kind of story that we all watched, two of them, the kind of stories that we watched this evening are stories of recovery. They're stories, they're victory stories. And so that is a, there's a different kind of thing that comes with that. The recovery stories never seem to get as much attention as the fentanyl stories. But they get important attention. They get attention from audiences that have, good, substantial reason, people who have been through recovery or people who just want to be in recovery or whatever. So let me see if I can catch up here. Margaret says, does anyone know how long it takes for people to recover physically from the effects of long-term drug use has had on their bodies medically and so forth? Or I guess it's different for everybody. And Ricardo says he has been there since Friday, and it's been a struggle, to be honest, guys. It worries me about his health, but I know we serve a mighty God, and he has a plan for us all. Margaret, yes, I can answer that, says Ricardo. Dawn says, did any of you use methadone or Suboxone to help with detoxing? If so, did it work for you? I would love to join your group. I think I would learn a lot from you all. So go ahead, Ricardo. Don, you just find me on Facebook, friend me, and then send me a message saying that you'd like to be in the Storytellers group. Deidre says, Margaret, some of us still have residual effects from using. I have physical problems now. Ricardo says, so physically, the detox depends on what drug, but normally lasts for 3 weeks to a month. And as far as for the effects, since I did meth, I still find myself being paranoid and thinking weird stuff. Gosh, Ricardo, the first thing that comes to my mind is with your screen name, my thinking is, well, maybe that comes from video games. That's just me. I was told that it can take up to 9 years for the effects on the mind. That's kind of scary. I think 9 years. It could be that when the effects stop, that they fade away so gradually you don't really recognize that they're gone until they've been gone for a while. Now, that's a good question from Margaret. So, do your organs completely recover or only up to so much? And wow, I have no idea. Deidre stopped using about 7 years ago. So, there's, oh yeah, the shoulder still hurts. Well, that's interesting, Brenda. I haven't heard that before. That meth has the longest recovery on the mind. Some never regain full function. I haven't I haven't heard that before. I'm not challenging it. That's just new information to me, and I appreciate that. What? Sometimes I don't understand what YouTube is doing. Yes, it probably would. Your brain is always affected by lots of things that happen to it, of course. Deidre was taking pills. Brixadi Sublocade and Vivitrol are better methods of if you're serious about staying sober from opioids, alcohol, and benzos. Each of these work differently on everyone, but they're, in my opinion, better than Suboxone and methadone. I think from what I've heard, I think that there is value to either option. I've had a former White House drug czar share with me that methadone achieves great results in some applications, and so that guy, he was impressive and seemed to really know what he was talking about, and certainly had the credentials to know what he was talking about. Margaret, some organs recover, others, if damaged, will stay damaged. Our livers need checked early in recovery. Well, there's a good one. Copious amounts. I'm sorry, Deidre, what are we talking about? Joe says this is the end result of prolonged use of cocaine and meth. The heart is a muscle, and I damaged my right chamber, being up and down like a roller coaster ride. And Ricardo says, take my dad, for instance. He used uppers for 28 years, and look at what's happening with his heart. Deidre, thank you, Lord Jesus. I never got a hold of any fentanyl. The amount of pills I took before starting snorting was embarrassing. It's important to share these stories. It's important that all of you share this stuff openly, because other people grow. Everybody grows when someone shares a story. The storyteller grows, and the audience grows. The listener grows. Everybody's growing here right now. Awesome coffee mug, right? And you see on the other side, it says stories that matter. How cool is that? People need to know active addiction is not sexy. Detox isn't sexy either, I bet. I want to talk a little bit more about sharing stories because it is such a human, necessary thing. When people share their story, they're helping their fellow human. What could be better than that? It's not giving back. It's just giving. And we all reap what we sow. We attract what we dwell on. If we dwell on helping others, we're more likely to receive help. Dawn says, thank you, April. I am going to write that down. All right. Guys, writing it down is probably important because I haven't figured out any way to get the chat to play when you watch this video later. Not that I spend much time watching videos of myself, but I would like to figure out how to make the chat part of the recording. Deidre says detox is an ugly look for sure. I feel bad for anyone who has to watch a loved one detox. That has to be tough. But there also has to be there also has to be this anticipation of the promise of what's on the other side. Yeah, but I'm sure it's just hideous. Yes, that's gold, Glenn. What's gold? The promise of what's on the other side? Joe, I am so grateful that you're here. And it really it's way cool that you're a part of this. I am it's rewarding at the end though, I promise. Yeah, it has got to be beyond rewarding to be past the hump and to be in that place where you know the hard part is behind you. Wait 24 hours after live, then click on open panel button and chat will play with the video. Okay, Brenda, thank you. April says you're welcome, Dawn. April, this is Brevard County, April, right? Brevard, you know, in my Space Coast. How about that? So a couple of days ago, we posted a story that was there was a Mother's Day thing. Did any of you guys see that? I got a very cool email yesterday evening from a husband who's also one of our storytellers who I'm gonna share it with you guys because it was that cool. Thank you so much for your video on Mother's Day. It was so deeply touching and encouraging. You spoke so eloquently, doing a great service to dispelling the stigma that seems to be so prevalent in stories of addiction. As I sat in the church parking lot with my wife before the service, we were comforted by your words, accompanied by tears. Thank you for reminding so many about how moms are affected by overwhelming loss and the encouragement as they walk through the valley of grief. Wow. That's so cool. Okay. It's like recovery from mental health struggles. You have to put the work in daily, doing positive activity, being social, exercising, working, spending time with friends and family, and not isolating. Isolating. That is such a toxic thing. There's maybe you guys have all heard about it, but there's been research where if a lab mouse gets 2 bottles of water and one of the bottles has I think it had heroin in it, the mouse in the cage alone will go to the heroin bottle over and over and over until eventually it dies. But in the same setting, same kind of cage, if there's a lot of mice, they don't, because they're not isolating. So that just really struck me. Brenda says, yes, it was beautiful. Thank you for posting the angel's mother's message. It was, it's not that I'm proud of it, but I feel like it reached a lot of people and it said some cool things. And I'm happy about that. Joe says, we think it's cool to get high, but there are consequences. Yeah, everything has consequences. As a Bible verse, there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end of it leads to death. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Joe. Or Jose. What? The form you filled out said Joe. Oh, I still have a little bit of coffee. So do you guys have any ideas about how we can grow the recovery series? Right? I really would love for the recovery series to reach a bigger audience. The recovery stories are so important and they're so full of hope and promise and encouragement for anyone who is new in recovery or just thinking about getting into recovery. They are so full of promise and so full of potential for saving lives, saving relationships. How do we reach more? Hello, Joan. Thank you for joining us. So how do we grow the audience? Because the information in these recovery stories is so important, but the audience doesn't have the same level of interest as they have for the fentanyl stories, is what we're seeing. And so how do we grow that? It's a good question, isn't it? Because there's tons of people I know who could benefit from the recovery stories. But how do we motivate them to better thumbnail? Thanks. I don't know. I like it's the yeah, YouTube will say that too. they'll promote the thumbnail, and YouTube has an AI thumbnail generating feature and a way to test thumbnails in advance. I don't know. I really like the thumbnail design that we're using with recovery stories, because it's factual. You know, the thumbnail shows the storyteller. But I don't know, maybe we need to rethink recovery thumbnails. It's not an overwhelming task to go through and replace all the thumbnails. If there's something better, I think people like seeing the storyteller in the thumbnail. But that's just my perception. I don't know. Well, that's tough because the algorithm is tricky and does what it wants. I know YouTube promotion has helped my channel grow a lot, but most Americans prefer tragedies or horror stories as opposed to feel-good stories. Brenda's onto something there. There's more of a draw for tragedies. But the recovery stories typically have some sort of tragedy as well. So Ricardo, here's the thing that I'm learning about the algorithm is that the algorithm doesn't necessarily do what it wants. The algorithm does what it believes the viewer wants, based on the viewer's behavior. So I don't know. There's a lot of times when I see a lot of brilliant efficiency in the way the algorithm works, and other times it kind of puzzles me. But for the most part, yeah, it seems like it works pretty well. Margaret says, it is a good question. Probably promote your videos to other YouTube channels that focus on recovery in all towns and cities. Also, maybe present a fentanyl stories, poisoning stories, a recovery story. Yeah, there is some crossover. There is a Maria Simonton story, also from New Mexico, is a story that is a poisoning and a recovery story. So it's kind of got some crossover. And a recovery story. So Ricardo, what is your channel name? I suppose that your channel name is probably Gaming with Prodigal Son, right? Yeah, we try to do that. We don't have as many recovery stories as we have fentanyl stories. It just works out that way. We don't send people in recovery who want to share their story. We don't send them away. But yeah. I don't know. I would just really like to see the recovery stories get more exposure. They are being used sometimes at recovery centers. There are people who teach recovery classes that use them, that have contacted us and asked to use them, and there are rehab facilities that use them as well. So that's cool. That is reaching the ideal audience, it seems like to me. But yeah, I would love for more people to see that there's hope. I feel like the recovery stories also do something to combat stigma. It humanizes the person in addiction. I was talking with my dad, and I would like to start another channel or even use mine to share these recovery stories. Yeah, I think that you really you need the link to them so that we get to track all the traffic, all the views, and it is the revenue that comes from the advertising on all of these that makes everything possible. It's how the series stays sustainable. It's how we manage to travel to different locations in the country to get more stories. April says it's the stigma maybe makes people reluctant to tell. For sure. I think the stigma can have a lot to do with people being willing to share or not. Certainly in the case of human trafficking stories, a lot of times human trafficking victims wind up in a sexually exploited circumstance that they just can't bring themselves to share. Gaming, I have 4.9 subscribers, so there's a start. See, that's awesome. Now your channel name doesn't. It leads me to believe that most of the content is going to be about video games, which could be a good thing. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it, but there is certainly potential there. If you have 5,000 subscribers, then you have a substantial audience, and it can certainly grow. Deidre agrees 100%. Good job, Deidre. I have just a little bit of coffee left. Okay. Good job, son. Be persistent. Word of mouth. Yeah. Are you doing shorts? Are you creating shorts? YouTube talks about the shorts being a great way to grow the channel. It hasn't really been our experience, but it's been hard to stick with shorts because they are there's not much to them. For us, I just feel stronger about longer format stories. I feel like there's more value to them. But the shorts that we do have out there still get views, and we should probably explore that in more depth. Brenda Miller hates shorts. Yeah, I kind of do too. It's not really, to me it feels like shorts aren't compatible with the kind of topics that we talk about. Now there's some exceptions. Like we have a short that is called Narcan Wears Off. And it's a segment out of Wade Green's story where Wade's mother explains that Narcan wears off, naloxone wears off, and naloxone can wear off before the opioid that caused the overdose wears off. And there can be the term I heard, re-narcotization, that the victim goes back into overdose. And if there's not someone there with more naloxone, that can be fatal. That's what happened with Wade Green. Hello from southeastern Kentucky, someone's princess. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. We have 20-something people in the group right now and 17 thumbs up. Come on now, thumbs up. So, someone's princess, have you joined us in a live event before, or is this first time? All right. Please take a moment and hit the thumbs up button. The button. The button. It ought to be right underneath this video, I think. Somewhere down here. I think. So hopefully somewhere that's easy to find. That'd be awesome. I have, but I usually don't say anything. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for saying something. Do you have any questions for me? Any questions about any of the series or the channel or whatever, Southeastern Kentucky. I've been through there. Gaming with Prodigal Son. So yes, my channel is mainly around gaming, but that could be changed. Now I mainly do a long form video and some shorts. I've been live streaming a lot and seeing growth. Brianna asks, parents who lose children to fentanyl feel guilty. Yeah. A lot of times that happens, and it's not valid, but ultimately parents feel absolutely responsible for their child's life, even once the child is an adult. Thank you, someone. The channel is awesome. I appreciate that very much. I hope that you see some of the recovery stories and some of the other kind of content that we have. And so thank you so much for bringing us all together here on your beautiful platform, Glenn. Thank you, Deidre. I appreciate that very much. Parents, so the parents who lose their child feel guilty. There's some guilt, there's some shame, there is self-blaming. There is this incredible torment that parents go through where they inventory all the big moments and a lot of the small moments during their child's development, and as addiction set in, and question everything that they ever did. It's terrible. And And the only value that comes out of doing that is telling other parents that you did it with the hope that they may not. Joe, I love you. Love you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all that you contributed in your story. It seemed difficult but important. Know what I mean? We feel empty. Yeah. Yeah, some for sure feel empty. It's a terrible thing. It's something that I see it a lot. And it's you want to find a way to pull that out, to take it away. And it's hard to do. There's everybody. When I see it in a storyteller, it makes me feel helpless too. That I want to do something. This is my thing, so this is what I do. So about the short with the Narcan, I experienced that 2 times, and luckily they had more Narcan with them. Exactly. That is one of those big, giant things that not enough people hear about. That's why we made that short called Narcan Wears Off. It's so important to understand that even when you revive someone, even if they seem like they're fine, they still need to go to the hospital. They still need to be monitored. They still need to be checked out. It's vital. It is vital. April says, I lost 2 sons, a brother, and cousin to fentanyl poisoning. I lost a daughter in a car wreck. I feel completely empty and responsible. April. It's out of your control. This is what you got now. And so every time you share what you've been through, you help someone else. Your loved ones that you've lost, they help someone else, even though they're gone. There should be a little bit of a reward in that somewhere. Something that maybe helps just a little bit. Maybe just for a short time, but helps a little bit. Don says to Brianna, as a mom of an addict, I sit and wait for the knock on the door or that phone call. I am a disabled veteran and I suffer from severe PTSD and anxiety. I struggled with addiction years ago. Thank you for sharing, Dawn. Experience strength and hope, and the hope is the one thing we cling to. There has to be cool things ahead for all of you. There has to be. Some moments of joy or maybe achievement or just getting to laugh again. Yes, Deidre, I'm sure it's real. I've seen it. Pain and the purpose. My living family and God are what keeps me going. Glenn, thank you all. Thank you, April. It's so sad to see and hear how fentanyl is wiping out our younger generation. It's terribly sad. And so important that everyone be aware of it because it is so prevalent. So seeing how sad it is helps make it happen less, I think. I hope. Ricardo says your story helps lots of people, April, and God is with you, and you are a strong woman and will continue being the hands and feet for Jesus. Deidre says, I've endured a lot of trauma and it's affected me negatively. So, Joe, that's what there's a brighter day. My son and I laugh a lot now. That's awesome. Simple thing of laughing is such a wonderful human trait, and it's something you have to share. It has killed more than all of the wars together, and that's horrifying. Absolutely. It is. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy. Sometimes I can't do a whole live here because it's just too much for me. Honestly, I love being here, but can only do it just so often. Well, I'm glad you're here, Deidre. Deidre, where are you at, Deidre? What part of the country are you in? I don't remember. I forget stuff because, it's really full. I know a whole bunch. So it's full. What else? Look at that. We have 25 people in the group right now, and we have 20 thumbs up. Feels kind of like success. It's hard to watch and listen for me sometimes. That's me, right? So has anyone heard from V lately? Those of you that are in the group pretty regularly, have you heard from V lately? Because she seems absent. There is a little bit of a different tone to this group. We're coming off of 2 recovery stories, so it's a little bit different in that regard, and maybe that kind of influences the tone here. Dawn says, Deidre, I know exactly what you go through. It's hard to live with sometimes. I isolate a lot. I blame myself for my son's addiction. I was an addict when he was young. Not a good example. Thank you. So, Deidre, sorry, Not a good example. April, so you know who V is. I couldn't remember. So, Don, you can't blame yourself. V was on the live on the 9, which I missed, so I posted my thoughts to her, hoping she will catch them one day. I'm in Oklahoma. Thanks, Brenda. Okay, Deidre. So in Oklahoma, it's probably gonna be in Oklahoma City, but we're gonna have a lunch thing. Remember, we were talking with Brad about it a live or two ago. Where is, and so the Oklahoma thing, the Oklahoma lunch thing will probably be on the 15th, on June 15th. In the city. As in Oklahoma City, is that what you're telling me, Deidre? So if so, you should be able to join us for the lunch thing. That we're actually going to announce the lunch thing in our private Facebook group so that members of the group can join us as well. You guys are so cool. I can't make it, Deidre. Come on, there's such good advance notice. It'd be a shame if you can't make it, because we'll be so close. But I guess we'll just see. So who else is with us? Who's being quiet? I guess there's some people that are 3 hours away. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's quite a drive for some nachos or something. It's great advance notice. Maybe something will make it necessary for you to come to Oklahoma City. Yeah, it's like a month away. So there's time for things to change. So that'd be cool. And so any of the others on here who are anywhere remotely close to Oklahoma City and you're up for a drive, you can join us for lunch on June 15th. And there'll be some sort of announcement in the Facebook Storytellers group. And so that'll be cool. What else? So does anybody else here in the group right now have questions they'd like to ask me about our channel or about our content or whatever? That's my big go-to question when I don't have stuff to say. So I want to encourage you guys to really always feel free to reach out, to contact me for any reason. If you have some questions or a project idea or whatever, you're welcome to reach out to me. And you can find me on Facebook. You can email us. You can go to our website. There's contact solutions, ways to contact us there as well. And so that's always cool. So I always like to remind you guys. I don't know what happened there. That's weird. Sorry, just technical stuff going on here. I got it. So I always like to show you guys this graphic because this is important. All of these products here are equally effective. They all contain naloxone. They all administer the same way through a nasal sprayer. But they do not all say Narcan. They do all say naloxone, because including the Narcan box, because naloxone is the drug in the brand name Narcan, just like it's the drug in the brand name Kloxxado, and just like it's the drug in the generic package from Walgreens and in the other packages in the picture. So I always like to remind you guys about that, because it's important. It's important because the name naloxone is what people need to know. Narcan is a way easier word to say, but naloxone is the drug. And there's a whole lot of packages out there that are every bit as life-saving as Narcan. And they don't say Narcan on them anywhere, but they do say naloxone. And there are circumstances where someone could be facing an overdose, and all the people around this person are a little bit impaired. And if they haven't heard the name naloxone often, they may not try to use another solution because it doesn't say Narcan on it. Kloxxado is actually a double dose. Instead of 4 milligrams, Kloxxado is 8 milligrams. And it still administers the same way. And there's research in the Journal of the American Medical Association that suggests a higher initial dose may act a little more quickly. So I like to always remind people of that as well. Someone, you are welcome. I consider illicit fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. It is. There's an incredible study that's on. It's a government story, an investigation about the role that China plays in the presence of illicit fentanyl in the United States. And it looks into simple business kind of things that happen in China, where there's incentives for the companies that make the precursors to do so. It's a pretty fascinating report. Someone sent it to me. Someone says, I just want to say thanks for making people aware of the devastation of fentanyl. I feel just, I'm so grateful to be doing this kind of work. It is, I've met so many really just incredible people. People that are hurting, but people that are so kind and so motivated to help others. That's really a big deal. You are wonderful. Oh, thank you very much. KD, yes, thank you, doing God's work. God bless you. KO. Like knockout? Are you a knockout? Sorry. So KO, I don't know that I've seen your screen name on here before. Are you new to joining us in a live? Used it on my son, I mean. 4 times I used it on my son, and 4 times he came back. So, Joe, when you used it on your son, did it just take 1 dose, or did you have to use a couple of doses, or how did that go? As you know, I'm nosy. I ask questions. It's like part of my field. So, I appreciate you joining us, KO. Glad you're here. Do you have, if you have any questions, feel free to just blurt them out or, type them out, whatever. So, Joe, I'm having to pay attention to my shoulder. Holy cow. I have to keep weight off of it. It's getting better. So, 2 to 3 times on all occasions. That's a big deal. That takes 2 or 3. That happens a lot. And so when a harm reduction organization comes out criticizing a higher dose like Kloxxado is an 8 milligram dose, Narcan, and most of the others, all the others in that picture, are 4 milligram doses. Kloxxado is an 8 milligram dose, and research suggests that an initial higher dose is better. So harm reduction people, they have a problem with Kloxxado because it's more likely to put a victim into withdrawal. Yeah, but maybe. But if you have to hit them with a couple of doses anyway, which is common, why does it matter? Let me catch up here 2 to 3 times. Lulu, thank you. 9 years in recovery. Thank you for the work that you do. So, Lulu, have you seen the recovery stories that we have? Over 40 recovery stories now, and they're all powerful. There's a wonderful level of diversity between story to story, and they're all powerful and all. There are 2 stories in our recovery series that I know have had relapses since they shared their story. One of the storytellers is incarcerated right now. But that's part of their journey. Don George says, I'm not sure exactly. I stumbled on you all tonight, but I am so grateful I did. God bless each of you. God bless you, Don. Thank you for being here. My social I lost my spot. Lulu, congrats on 9 years, truly. My social won't help me. From Tia. Can't do it myself because I'm handicapped, always in pain. How you doing right now, Tia? Maybe a little distracted from your pain because of this wonderful group of people here? All right, Joe. Here's Lulu, congratulations on 9 years. Truly amazing. Stay strong and God bless. Joe says he, meaning Ricardo, he went into instant withdrawal and was pissed. I wasn't. He was alive in my arms. I get what you're saying there. Instant withdrawal, and he was pissed. Clearly he got over it, right? But I find that funny. Maybe it's maybe it's not appropriate for me to find it funny, but it seems funny to me because I can kind of picture it since I know you guys. So Lulu says, thank you, Brenda. I've been making my way through the videos. Cool. Ricardo says 100% every time I went into withdrawal and was super angry. Yeah, I bet it's got to be because there's no prep for the journey if you're put into withdrawal because of naloxone. You come to, and I would think you're a little bit confused, and you're also just irritated because you're in withdrawal just straight away. You had no warning it was coming. You're just boom, there you are. Jose, yes, Narcan causes precipitated withdrawal, which causes us to be pissed when we arrive back from the dead. Relapse is part of the process. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Lulu and Jose and Joe, you are both welcome. All right, you laughing at me, Joe? You're laughing at me thinking it's funny, being able to picture the pissed thing, waking up alive, like grateful but alive, and angry and in withdrawal, and it's just got to be kind of a mess. Yeah, I did, but boy, I was mad, and it is funny now. It has to be, right? It has to be. It's got to be just it's where you're at. It takes your high away right away, and you're confused and sick at the same time. Yeah. So, folks, we have been here for almost 90 minutes now, 84 minutes. So, holy cow, it's about time to wrap it up. Is there any final question? It's awesome that we heard from some new people here. Of course, Joe and Ricardo. That's awesome that you guys were able to join us. Robin, thanks for being here. Are you new? Yes, sir. Looking like Rocky and Bullwinkle. KL, my sister just passed of an overdose. I wish I was there and had the chance to use Narcan, but that wasn't God's plan. I'm very sorry, KO. That's a terrible loss. I don't. Okay. Robin from Oklahoma. Okay. Sorry. I'm slow. So, KO, here's something that I often tell storytellers is it's that the last part of a person's life is oftentimes, and maybe every time, someone else's lesson. That's hardly a consolation, but it's important. So try to kind of hang on to that. Someone is learning. Robin, we're in Oklahoma. I'm an Okie too. Lulu says she had temper tantrums when I first went into recovery. Imagine a 46-year-old woman having temper tantrums. Okay, I can say this. It's not difficult for me to imagine a woman having temper tantrums at any age. I understand that and appreciate that. I will. Thank you. Lulu, I can imagine those fits because I had them too at 57. See? Recovery is amazing. That's the thing to hang on to. That too is someone else's lesson. Moore, Oklahoma. How close is Moore to Oklahoma City? Just help me out. I can Google it. I know. But Robin, we're gonna do some sort of lunch thing in Oklahoma City on June 15th, as the plan is right now. So, thank you, Joe. Lulu, who you laughing at, Lulu? Lula. What's a Lula? I don't know. Deidre is 50. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, Ricardo. We are going to be wrapping it up in any minute because we are at 90 minutes, and I don't know how much longer the battery on the camera is going to go. And then I can switch the battery and it'll be fine. But 90 minutes I feel like is a good cutoff point. I share my story often on Facebook and TikTok, and I always get a direct message from someone struggling. We hear from those people a lot too. So Lula, are we Facebook friends? Good night, KO. Thank you for being here. Really, thank you. Thank you very much. Lula, are we Facebook friends? I'm just going to keep asking. I share my story often, you said. The reason, Lula, the reason why I'm asking if we're Facebook friends is because we have a group. We have a private Facebook group that's called Texas Picture Storytellers, and that is how we all stay connected. Eastern Standard Time, so it's 9:30 for you. Is that right? So, Lula, you should find me on Facebook, friend me, and join our private group for storytellers. And then as we schedule our events throughout the country, we announce them in that group first so that anyone that might be in the area we're going to gets first crack at signing up to share their story. So right now, the destinations that we have on our big list are Wichita, Kansas, Denver, Portsmouth, Virginia, Seattle, and probably Sarasota, Florida. And there's several maybes in the queue as well. So those are the trips that we have coming up. Most of you have probably seen this map, but I always like to show it for the new folks. So So this is the places where we've been so far. And in fact, this map is missing 3 locations in northern Florida, so there's more. Indiana. Lula is in Indiana. We've been near Indiana shooting stories. All right, Ricardo, thank you for joining us. We can sort out a way to do something to maybe help your channel with some exposure on our channel. And so, KO, Lula, both of you, you guys are welcome to be a part of the Facebook group if you have any interest in at some point sharing your story. Near a highway hotspot for fentanyl trafficking, and the first thing I did after healing was go back to school and get my criminal justice degree. It is horrific in my area. Indiana, thank you, sir. That's awesome. Keep me in your prayers. I will recover. I will be home with my buddy and dog, Bandit. I love you, Glenn. Keep up the good work. Hey, maybe we can meet up sometime soon. We will probably be back in Albuquerque later this year. Probably. Look into the Facebook. The only way to find it's not listed. It is a private group, so you can't find it by searching for it. But you can find me. So, my name, here you go. Here's my name one more time. Hi, you can search for me on Facebook, friend me there, and then send me a message in Facebook asking to be a part of the group. Just reminding me that I need to send you an invite. And of course, anyone who's already shared a story is certainly welcome as well if they're not already in the group. We try to remind everyone that we have the group when we do the interviews. So that is going to be about it for now. I am going to share with you ways to contact us. I'll open an account. All right. Gee, Joe. Nice purse. So, sorry. There's just stuff going on here. So, Robin, keep watching these videos because that gets the word out for this cause. It does. That's right. It does. Anytime you watch them, anytime you watch them, anytime you share them, post them on whatever social media, anytime you post links to them on whatever kind of social media you're on, that helps too. That helps get the word out. It helps our channel. It helps us afford to keep going to these places and recording these stories. And we're in such a wonderful spot. Are you the Houston, Texas? Hmm? Yeah, we're in Houston. I'm sorry, Joan. Are you the one in Pearland? Friendswood? Thanks, everyone, for sharing your story. For sure. For sure. I think it's fantastic. The generosity that we see here in this group from people just openly sharing anything that might help others in the group. That's awesome. I will pray for you, Jose. You got this. I'm proud of what you've already accomplished. God be with you. I hope everyone has an awesome evening. We will. Joan in Friendswood. pretty good chance we're going to go to Gringos tomorrow night. Happens a lot. It's so close. Someone's Princess, thank you very much for being here. Please join us again. I really, it's always nice. It's always nice to see the usual suspects here. And if you join us again, then you'll be a usual suspect too. Robin, thank you for being here. I share this on my YouTube channel and many more about the poison called fentanyl. Awesome. Lula, I found you. I just sent you the ad. Awesome. We'll make it happen. So we're going to wrap it up for now, but I always like to leave you guys with ways to contact us. So here is our email address, info@texas-pictures.com. Lula says the number one thing that helped me in recovery was sitting in those groups these 3 days a week and talking to people that were experiencing the same thing that I was experiencing. Absolutely. Okay, so there is our email address, info@texas-pictures.com. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find Texas Pictures on Facebook, and you can find me, Glenn Muse, on Facebook as well. We have a presence on TikTok, and our website is texas-pictures.com. And on our website, you will find our mailing address, ways to reach us, even a phone number. So feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for all of the thumbs up. And we will talk to you guys again very soon. Good night, everybody.